say, I thought, give Kent State credit. I thought we got out of the blocks really well, 12-2 or whatever it was, and I think it was 22-12 at one point. But give them credit. They bounced back, they punched back, and we had a hard time answering. It was 1 point game at halftime, and it was like, I always say the first 5 minutes of the second half, and I thought they were more aggressive. They beat us in the paint, and that's one of our areas that we have to, because we don't shoot the ball well, one area that we have to not dominate but win, and they dominated us. They dominated us on the glass, and they just played better than us today, and give them credit. Hopefully, best of luck. Hopefully they win a few more games.
Coach, you mentioned the hot start on offense, cooled off pretty significantly as the game went on. What did you see there?
Yeah, we have a hard time shooting the ball. We've had it all year, and you got to make some shots, and they got into the gaps, and they did a decent job inside on Noel. But we were sloppy at times, and when we shoot 6 for 13 from the foul line, we didn't play well enough to beat a good team.
How impactful was Kent State's inside game, whether it was creating chances in the paint or even rebounding,
they were good.
particularly defensive rebounding?
Yeah, I don't know about defensive rebound, but offensive rebounds, second chance points, they beat us 16-0. That's, you can't get dominated like that. We won points off turnovers, but the physical part of it, second chance points and points in the paint. Usually we've done a really good job, throughout the year, but today they got us, and that's why they beat us.
Coach, with the locker room never being the same again, what can you say about the group in the season?
It was good. They win 22 games to get off to a 14-1 start. I think it's the third, fourth, fifth most wins in school history. So these two guys have done a really good job leading our team. And it was you always want to get to the NCAA tournament, but it's really, really hard. You look at VCU and they win our league, they win the tournament. They get a net of 31, and they're 11th seed. They're the second to the last team into the NCAA tournament. So that's how difficult. And I think they were 28-7. So that's how difficult it is to get to the NCAA tournament. But to be able to have a home game, NIT home game, says a lot about the type of season that we had.
Coach, what did you think about your team's pace of play today?
Say it again.
What did you think about your team's pace of play today?
Pace of play?
Yeah.
When you're not shooting the ball, it's hard to, you're not stopping the opponent. It's hard to really push the ball, and they got into the gaps, and we had 15 points off of turnovers, which is good. We only had 13 points, fast break points, but give them credit. It's hard to run when the ball's when you're taking the ball out of the net.
I know you scrimmaged them a long time ago, but was there any familiarity on either side of that? And was the matchup as physical other times when you've seen them?
Yeah, that's why we play them, in the beginning of the year. They're a really physical, blue-collar team, and it's been, I think we've scrimmaged them at least 10 times, and it's always been good. They're a good staff. Our staffs get along with each other. Rob does a really good job. There was some, we knew them, they knew us, but it had nothing, we played them, 5 months ago.
Was it a little bit like a league game in that it is a team you see often?
No, because if you know what a close scrimmage is, it's 20 minutes man to man, it's 20 minutes zone. We do situations. It's a scrimmage. It's like we stop and we talk, and it's like more of a practice.
Noel, from a playing perspective, you're on the floor. How impactful was Kent State's impact? Was their inside game, whether it was creating chances or them, shutting down second chance opportunities?
I think it's pretty good. They have some good, pretty physical 5 men. On rotation wise too, they get a good job of sealing if the big helps over. If you have a drive and the big steps over, they did a good job when I'm trying to get back, just sealing that side of the basket. So I give them credit there. And they had a few cool bigs, so they're just strong physical guys.
Noel, your last game as a Bonnie, what did you think of the atmosphere, and just reflect on what you've been through?
I guess it goes to some life perspective in my faith, but in all things I just try to be grateful. And obviously I didn't expect instead to have another game in the RC, but with that being said, I don't think I could be any more grateful for it. You know what I'm saying? I really got to have some interactions with some people I didn't get to think I'd play in front of again. You know what I'm saying? I got to feel that emotion. So I'm honestly just grateful. You know what I'm saying? I know 10 years down the road, I'll be able to look back and remember the people I saw, again, that we put in such, and honestly just be grateful. So, and no one got hurt today. Brock, Jack got in those outside. So I love my guys. I'm grateful.
Noel, similar question, but when you checked off the court for the final time, the fans gave you a standing O. What do you want to say to the Bonnet faithful?
We're family, like straight up. You know what I'm saying? We're always family. I can't like I talk to my teammates, but I'm like, in 10 years I'm gonna be back with the fans, like cheering all this kind of stuff. As soon as I get my money right, I'm gonna be invested in the Bonnie's team. Like I love Bonnie's 100%. Like you got like swooped in like when I was going through some family stuff and stepped right back up. I want to be there for them too. Like I love Bonaventure, 100%.
Coach, you throw Brock and Jack in at the end there. What's that say about them, and what do they bring to this team?
It's, they're special kids. It's hard to be a walk-on. They work just as hard as our guys. They don't get paid. So when you have an opportunity to put them in there, you try to do that, and it's great that they made shots. But they give everything. They love the university. They don't get anything for it. It takes a special kid to be a walk-on, and they're two really special kids.
Melvin, what can you say about the team as a whole, being one of the captains in your first year at Bonaventure?
Recruiting 10 other guys, we came close in the summertime, and we just got that connection that I feel like I knew these guys for like 3+ years, and we just met a couple months ago, and I just love everybody on the team.
Melvin, you've been one season here. Are you planning to come back next season? That's a decision you're going to face.
I mean, I know this question is going to I can say this to community and the fans. I know people is going to try to throw me a lot of money, NIL money, and I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the culture and the fans and the family. So that being said, I just will have a talk with my mom and my dad. But most likely, I do feel like the best thing is to come back and play another year at St. Bonaventure because I fell short against VCU and our point guard went down. So I just want to give it back to the community and try to win the A-10.
Anything else?